out into the four directions. 6 de la mañana and we making those connections. Working harder than United Nations. Big ups, big props to my relations. Hip hop on your blocks due to economic situations. We handling underground mainstream infiltrations. CD, cassette, MP3, internet, TV, websites, radio stations.
All right, we are live. Here we go. Here we go. Yeah, I was excited for this interview, dog. I'm not gonna lie. Yo, what up? It's the motherfucking Beat Table with ELIAS, where we introduce the producers and beat makers. Yo, right here we got
DJ WarlockOne.
Bam. So there's an interesting story about Warlock, is that when I thought of the idea of the Beat Table like 2.5 years ago, he was the first one that I contacted, and I was like, yo, I thought of this idea and I would love to interview you. He's like, I can't. I was like, oh.
No, actually, that's not true. No, like first of all,
not that you couldn't. But
first of all, thank you for having me.
Yeah.
I appreciate the opportunity for, being here today and being featured on the podcast. I know I see this podcast like going long ways, man.
Hell yeah, appreciate that.
I mean, I see the work being put in. I see the quality, high quality work, and I see the effort. You know what I mean? So
Hell
I can tell you right now that. Right now it's in its early stages and stuff like that, but it's gonna. I could see this like really, really like popping up.
Hell yeah.
Popping off. Nationwide and even internationally. So.
Hell yeah.
Props to you, man. Props to you. But
yeah.
Thank you for having me. But going back to that comment, it's not that I couldn't make it. So I agreed to actually do it, right?
Yeah, you did.
I agreed to do it, but it was during the pandemic.
I know.
And then something happened that I actually caught like a flu or something during that time. That same day when I was gonna get interviewed, and I was like, hey, I'm not gonna risk.
Yeah, you're like, you know what? I'd rather not.
So.
And I was like, damn, I almost had him. You know what I'm saying? But no, that's exactly what it was. He hit me back up and he was like, yo, I'm sick. I'm like, oh shit. And every person that I hit up after that was actually saying the same exact thing. They were like, you know what? I'd rather not like go out right now. I don't want to like chance it, or like, what if I have it or you have it? You know what I'm saying? But hey, we got you here, brother. Hell yeah.
Yeah.
Super dope. Super dope. And you're one of the ones that I really wanted to interview because like I really enjoy your vibe, dude. Like I really enjoy the way you create, you know what I'm saying? Because I watch everybody, you know what I'm saying? Like I'm a fan of people that make beats and produce and rap and DJ, and you know what I'm saying? So I was always like, man, I really want to interview this guy. So hell yeah, thank you for making the time for us to come out here, bro. Like I really appreciate it.
Thanks for the compliment, man. I mean, like I don't take compliments for granted, man. Like that's to me, like if someone will tell me stuff like that, like I take it personal. I take it deeply into heart. So
hell yeah,
thank you for that, man. Appreciate that.
So DJ WarlockOne, where are you from?
So DJ WarlockOne was born in Guatemala, Central America.
Oh hell yeah!
And I came out here when I was 10 years old. I landed in LA, Pico Union District, to be just right there by 8th and Pico and Vermont, like
okay.
Right there. So it's like Koreatown, Pico Union, borderline. So I grew up right there. I grew up in Pico Union, and then so that's basically where I kind of started on my hip hop career, like doing, started with graffiti first, didn't really, it wasn't like my thing, you know what I mean? So
you just wanted to tag on shit up.
I was tagging on shit. I tried to get into the piecing and all that stuff, but then I started b-boying, you know what I mean?
Nice.
And this was when I was like maybe like 13, 14, so
youngster.
You're just trying to like figure yourself out, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And it wasn't until then when I got into b-boying that I got exposed to the real hip hop culture, you know what I mean? Because hip hop existed back then. Like I'm talking about like in the mid '90s, like almost late '90s, and hip hop back then. If you talked about hip hop, like Paul 06 was already a thing, right? And then they were like playing like a lot of the West Coast gangster shit. You know what I mean? Like the the Dog Pound, the Snoop Dogg, the Dr. Dre's, you know, and all the East Coast stuff too, right?
Yeah.
That was out of the time, like the '90s hip hop. You know what I mean? But when I got introduced to the hip hop culture, you know, that was the b-boying, you know, the graffiti art, the art of DJing, or turntablism, and graffiti art. You know what I mean? And MCing. So.
Hell yeah, that's dope, dude.
So from being a b-boy, you know, then that transitioned into like, you know, being a DJ. You know what I mean? Like I fell in love with the breaks. You know.
Hell yeah.
The breaks, the breaks. You know, back then we were also using a lot of vinyl. Like, you know, Serato didn't exist yet, so. I feel like I'm fortunate enough to, like, you know, be able to have been exposed to that in my lifetime. You know, to have been exposed to the real vinyl, to the real, you know, to go into the record stores and being able to collect, you know, double singles. You know what I mean? Because back then, like, you know, there was no Serato, there was CDJs used to exist at some point, but they were not. It didn't feel like the real thing, you know, when you wanted to, like, you know, mix in your instrumental, you know, before you mixed in the song, you know, on vinyl. So that was the way it was done before, you know, like
hell yeah.
Prior to 2000, you know.
Yeah, hell yeah. That was, everybody was afraid to transition into the CDJs because they were like, hell no, I don't want to be like a fake DJ. You know what I'm saying?
I don't think it was that. It's just
they were scared.
It wasn't that, honestly, because I wanted to get into the CDs because I was like, you know what, like I don't have money to be buying all these records.
Hey, people
you know?
scratch like crazy on that shit.
Yeah.
Like on some dope shit. I'm like, damn, that's talent and skill right there.
Yeah.
Like if you could scratch like the way you can on actual turntables on a CDJ, it's got to be a little bit harder, right?
It's harder. It's just like the way the feel. Even with controllers nowadays, like you can send certain controllers, like you can still do it. You can still do your thing. But it's not the same as having a spinning platter. You know what I mean? Like the spinning platter is like the whole thing.
So explain this one to me. I work a turntable because I listen to vinyl and shit, right? Like I collect a little bit of vinyl and shit. How the fuck are they doing the records with no arm? Like no needle?
You're talking about the Face DJ. It's like a system that has wireless. So
That's insane.
it has like some sort of sensor that you connect to the computer via USB.
And it reads the...
And then you have to calibrate your turntables, and then it'll spin. So the sensors will pick up the, you know, like how the record's spinning, and then that'll translate into Serato or whatever. And so you have the full platter, the full record size, and then you have, you know, basically the real feel of the turntable and the vinyl.
Yeah.
And that's basically what makes the difference, you know what I mean? That now, you know,
so it's through a sensor.
It's a sensor, yeah.
Oh shit! Because the first time I seen that was through DJ Livia.
Okay, yeah. So so if you look at it closely,
Yeah, I know. I need to.
You'll see like it's like some sort of like little bar that gets that goes on top of the center of the record. You know, where the if you put an adapter, like the 45 adapter,
okay,
it has a little hole. It goes there, you know what I mean? And then it's just I think it's glued to the record itself, and then it just.
So that shit got to be expensive as fuck then.
I think it's running for about $5.99 or something.
Oh, that's not bad.
But you have to have the compatible.
Like everything with it, huh? Software, everything.
The software has to be compatible. I think it's Serato, and then you have to have the compatible mixers.
Oh, okay. So it's like you can't just get that little sensor and be like, I'm in. Like, hell no. It's like, we'll sell you this drum machine, but you still need to purchase like drum kits and sounds and all that shit.
I don't know much about it because I kind of retired from like, you know, DJing and you know, I mean I still do it, but it's not like you know, I'm more into the production now, you know, instead of the but I still do my research, you know, when it comes to stuff like that, because it's interesting to learn, you know what I mean?
Yeah,
like,
hell yeah. No, I found it like fascinating because like I said, I never got in, even though like I made beats, like I've been making beats for a long time, I never got into the DJing part. Like I never ever wanted to like scratch or like mix music or anything like that. Like I just never got interested in that. But it still fascinated me because I'd be like, fuck, that'd be dope to learn. Yeah.
For me, it was more like, you know, falling in love with the breaks. Like all of those groups, like they used to drive me crazy, you know, like the James Browns, like there's like a long list of, you know, Apache, you know what I mean? It's Just Begun, to name a few. Like when I heard those on record, I wanted to just keep looping them, you know, like looping and looping and looping. Because back then, I didn't know anything about drum machines, MPCs. Like I had no idea that even existed. You know
But
what
you
I mean?
were already falling in love with the drums and shit,
Oh yeah,
though, huh?
oh yeah.
With
Like
the
I
breaks
was,
and shit.
so I was actually using tapes back then to actually do my looping. So I used to basically get the turntable. Back then, tapes were accessible for us to purchase, and recording to them. So I would hit record, play the loop, hit pause. But when you hit pause on the boombox, like you kind of have to keep it pressed because if you let it go, it kind of like skips like a millisecond or something. So if you keep it pressed, and then you wait for the cue, and then you let it go, it'll start recording right on cue. So,
And I bet you learned that the hard way, huh? When you let go,
yeah.
you're like, fuck, it just had like a little gap and shit.
Oh yeah. So it wouldn't loop correctly. So once I started doing, once I got the hang of it, I started making all these long ass loop tapes.
Yeah.
I started slanging those tapes to my
As you
b-boy,
should,
to my b-boy
man.
family.
Hell yeah.
We would go practice. Like we would take a boombox with like a little rigged car battery, like a little remote control car battery.
Hell yeah.
'Cause back then we didn't have rechargeable batteries.
I know, right?
But if we wanted to go outside and battle whatever, like in the streets.
Bro, imagine having what we have right now when we're fucking teenagers, bro. You know what I'm saying? Like
a lot of the teens nowadays are taking shit for granted.
Bro.
Like that's what I see. Then that's what because back then, like we used to work with what we had, and we used to make shit work, and we invented shit. Like we even
became inventors.
yeah we and that's what I trip out about it, because nowadays everyone's just looking for the shortcuts.
Yeah.
What I mean? And it's cool and everything, but it to me it's like I find more value like going under the hood of something and then learning it.
Hell yeah.
And then
Hands
doing
on.
it the right way
Yeah.
versus like finding the shortcuts and just relying on the shortcuts. You know what I mean? Like
and that's what I'm saying, because like now, like I was at Guitar Center when I was selling my shit that I was telling you about, and there was a 19-year-old kid right there, and he was like, yeah, I'm just in here, I just want to purchase a studio, whatever I need, just get it for me. And I was just like, back in our days, dog, was not that easy.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like we had to stack the fuck
well,
up.
back then, like if I wanted to go get a pair of turntables, like that I could afford, like I would have to I would have to go to whatever it was, whether it's Guitar Center or whatever. I had to go in there with my list, like a couple Geminis, with the M44s or whatever, shirt needles, the Stanton needles.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like I had to do my research, and it wasn't like easy back then because it wasn't like I'm gonna just log into the internet and find out what I need to get.
That's what I'm saying.
I had to figure out from the homie that already DJs, and he already knows what's up. So I'm actually picking his brain, like, hey, like what do I need to get? Like how much was this? And then he would tell me, he would give me these prices. I'm like, fuck, that's a lot of money. How the fuck am I gonna afford this shit? Like, a pair of turntables and a mixer used to run for about like 2 G's or something.
Yeah,
like that.
no,
Like,
it was
like,
expensive, bro, and that's what I'm saying. I was telling my homie yesterday. I was like, yo, my parents didn't support me doing music. Like, you know what I'm saying? They didn't give a shit about me doing music. Mm-hmm. So if I ever wanted something, like I literally had to go get that shit myself. So when I started making beats, I figured out that you can use the keypads on the keyboard to use the drums to shorten or extend the sample or use the sample or with the octaves and all that shit. So I literally used my keyboard like for years, dude.
Well, I mean that became a thing,
because
like
I couldn't afford it. You know what I'm saying?
At one point, like even like the famous producers that can afford like the big ass consoles and SSLs and all that shit, like they're fucking making their bangers on the fucking laptop with no fucking controllers and no nothing else, just the fucking program and the fucking built-in keyboard on the laptop, and they're making bangers like that. You know what I mean? So it's not the gear, man. It's the ear. It's the ear.
Exactly. And that's why like I don't like rely on if I need to get a beat machine or whatever. Like honestly, like I have my MIDI control. Like I have 2 of them. You know what I'm saying? I use them like a little bit, probably just to lay the drums down. But everything else, I'm using my fucking keypad.
Yeah, I mean, don't get me wrong. I mean, like I'm a huge advocate, of using hardware and whenever you can or wherever. But if you don't have to, like, you don't have to use it. That's
Yeah,
the point.
no,
Like,
yeah, everybody
it's
has-
not a must that you like if I don't have this compressor, you know, my voice is not gonna sound a certain way. You know, like it's so like at this point in this day and age, man, it's all bullshit. Like, you know, you just gotta get a interface. The interface will come with the software bundled, and you have everything you need there to fucking create bangers and shit.
Yeah,
You know what I mean?
yeah,
So,
yeah, and it does. It comes with like dope ass EQs,
Yeah.
compressors, fucking de-esser. Like
yeah.
it comes with
even
dope-ass
free
shit.
software has everything.
Yeah.
You need. Like Audacity, for example.
As long as you
You
know
know?
how to use those numbers, like the math and shit.
Yeah.
As long as you know how to move those numbers, like you'll be good. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So, what was it like growing up in your neighborhood?
It was tough, you know, because when me growing
No, you're good.
something growing up, like, it was a different era. It's not today's era. So when I was growing up, you know, it was I was a kid, you know, from Central America, trying to find my identity, you know, in a different land, you know, in a far away from where I had, you know, grown up. Well, not grown up, but like for, you know, where I had lived for the past 10 years or whatever. So it was a whole different thing. Like, I had to go through that challenge. The language barrier, you know, that's one of the things. You know, overcoming that, you know what I mean, and then the gangs, you know what I mean, that was one of the biggest
Hell
things in my story, that I avoided the gangs. I would say thanks to b-boying.
Mm-hmm.
If it wasn't for b-boying, I think I would have probably ended up joining the gang, and, you know, like, I don't know. I mean, I probably wouldn't be here today, you know.
Yeah.
Because a lot of my friends that I actually grew up with, like, you know, they took that route, and, you know, they're no longer with us, you know. So.
Yeah. Yeah.
But yeah, growing up, I would say it was a great experience. You know, like, I don't regret anything that happened to me. And, like, I think if I would relive my life again, like, I would say I would go ahead and, you know, I would
do
say
the same shit all over again.
yeah, I would do it all
Hell
over
yeah.
again. You know what I mean? Like,
I agree with you, bro. I definitely agree. Like, people always tell me, because I made a lot of fucking stupid ass mistakes in my life. You know what I'm saying? I lost a lot of people, lost a lot of family and shit. But my wife tells me all the time, she's like, if you could go back when you're 15, would you change anything? I'm like, nah. I
Yeah.
love the person that I am today, dog.
Yeah.
Even though I have, like, you know, loose screws and, like, fucked up limbs and, like,
I think whatever you did, you know, when you were younger, you know, like, defines who you are today. You know, and all
Yeah.
those experiences make you grow in a way. You know, like, it's like if you grow up like very you know, in the struggles or whatever, you know, like, you learn to appreciate things when you were growing up. And if you have everything growing up, you know, like, when you're a grown up, like, you might not appreciate
your
shit.
thought
And then,
process is different. Yeah.
yeah, and then you might end up, like, you know, having to need to learn how to appreciate as a grown up, and then, you know, it's just
Too late.
Yeah, it's too late for that. Yeah.
It's like, fool, you should have been knowing this shit, huh?
Yeah.
The homie's like, hey, how do I do this? I'm like, I learned that shit when I was 11, dog. You know what I'm saying? Like, I've been fucking doing that shit. But that's cool, yeah. Like, I definitely agree, bro. Like, I wouldn't change anything. And so when you came, how old were you again when you got here?
About 10 years old.
Damn,
Yeah.
that's you already. So you lived like a nice little life.
Yeah.
In Guatemala, right?
I have memory of that too. So yeah, it was. I mean, it was nice, but it was a bigger struggle. You know what I mean?
So
It was-
at 10 years old, you already had knowledge. So
course.
already having knowledge, and then transitioning, like, boom, now you're in LA.
Mm-hmm.
Like, was it hard to like to adapt, or were you ready? You were like,
It wasn't hard to adapt, but it was a process, because, like, you know, stuff over there back then when I came, it was different. Maybe now it's a little more similar, because, you know, like, things are kind of catching up out there or whatever.
Yeah.
But back then when I came, it was a total different vibe. Like, you know, kids back then, you know, they were freaking you know, they had no filter. You know what I mean? So I remember just getting in a lot of trouble, getting in a lot of fights. You know what I mean? Just at that point, you know, like me just wanting to join the gang. You know what I mean? Because I was like, you know, like, that's the only way that I'm gonna be able to defend myself. But and then, you know, like, also, like, you know, I take on my mom's example too, because she was a hard worker. You know what I mean? So all of that stuff kind of, like, you know, just told me, you know what, this is an opportunity for me. Let me take it. Let me try out the good. You know what I mean? And I learned. You know what I mean? Like, I try to do good by me, and just do positive things. You know. So,
Speaking of moms, she has a restaurant.
yeah, yeah.
What is it called?
It's called Milagro Salvadorian Restaurant. It's in South Central.
So I seen you post videos before of like the food. That shit looks bomb.
Yeah, you're welcome to come through anytime, man.
I'm gonna have to go.
Bring the whole family.
I'm super in right now on the pupusas right now.
Yeah.
I'm like super in on that shit because I grew up with a bunch of Salvadorian homies. I grew up with more Salvadorian homies than I did Mexican homies, and I always ate pupusas, but I stopped for like a very long time because we weren't hanging out no more. You know what I'm saying? But we have this spot in Cudahy. It's a backyard boogie, and they make pupusas. But I had seen, and I just remembered right now. I'm like, yeah, your mom's owns like a spot.
Yeah.
Oh man, so you guys go check that shit out.
Yeah, it's on 32nd and Central, 3007 South Central Avenue. Look it up, you know, on Google Maps or whatever. We're there every day from 11 to
I'm gonna put the address right here. Tell Mama I'm gonna put the address right here, so everybody go check that shit out. You know what I'm saying?
So yeah, if you're in the South Central area, downtown area, you know, we also take Uber Eats, DoorDash, and Postmates. So if you don't want to come out the house, you want to get yourself delivered, you know, you can get that too.
There you go, ladies and gentlemen. They'll deliver that shit. You know what I'm saying? So no excuses. So speaking of mama, did you guys have like a big family or did you have a small family?
Family out here on my mom's side is really small. It was just my aunt pretty much, and then my cousins, but they all ended up moving to Seattle a while back.
Shit.
So after that, it was just us. It was just me and my brothers and my mom's.
Damn.
And you know, it's a small family. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So but yeah, I mean, it's not a big family. It's a small family.
So how long has your mom had that spot?
We've been there since before the pandemic. So
okay.
Yeah, so about 4 years, like some good 4 years or 3 years. 3 years.
That's dope. Is that something that like you guys all wanted to do together, or is it something she wanted to do?
It was one of my mom's dreams, you know what I mean? And she saw the opportunity, dope. And then you know, like, of course, you know, I'm gonna support, you know.
Yeah.
You know, on that, but it takes a lot of work, you know. I mean, I give that to her, you know. She does, you know, put in the work that's needed to make that place, you know, be what it is right now, you know what I mean? And it's just like I said, I'm just supporting in the like from the background, you know, giving her my support, you know what I mean, and wherever I can, you know what I mean, and you know.
So I just remembered right now too. You shot Lirico Dios video in there, right? Mm-hmm. That's his name, right? Lirico Dios.
Yeah, my boy Lirico Dios.
Yeah, big ups to him. I met him at a studio, and he's dope, dude.
Yeah, my boy Lirico Dios. I just
remembered that.
He just moved out here from the Bay Area, actually.
Yeah.
So he's residing in Riverside right now.
Oh, really? Hell yeah.
So we just got together not long ago, and when he actually killed another one of my beats. He fucking murdered that shit. and I captured it, you know, mixed it and mastered it, and sent it back to him right away. And then before you know it, he's already like telling me, hey, like I got the director for the video, like, you know, like locked in this date or whatever. So
hell yeah,
we did that. So we're waiting for that to come out.
Yeah, shout outs to Lirico Dios, dude. He's fucking dope. He's definitely a spitter, man. So was there like a specific somebody that got you involved in music?
You know, like music ran in my family. Like, you know, my dad used to play the guitar. You know, my aunts, my moms, you know, they both, like, they were singers. You know what I mean? So, so music was always in the family. You know what I mean? Like
so you were born into it.
I kind of learned to play the guitar the acoustic guitar when I was like in Guatemala. Like, grandma used to take us to church, and we used to actually. I learned, you know, a few chords here and there, and we used to play, you know, for the whole church. You know.
That's dope.
As a kid, you know what I mean?
That's dope.
I'm like, man, like, I didn't realize that I was actually learning something that was gonna like help me out later in the future. You know what I mean? Yeah. And so yeah, man, you know, so I think because of that, I was always like, oh shit, like, you know, I'm trying to sing, I'm trying to, you know, like listen to like, you know, music or whatever. But when it came to the hip hop production, like I was confused at first. Like I didn't even know that, you know. Like growing up, it's like you listen to a song, right? Like, for example, like the first time I heard Gin and Juice, right? Gin and Juice, like, it's just an example.
I was just hearing that today too.
Yeah, it's like, yeah, because and the reason why I mentioned that, because I was like, I had that on my playlist, and I was listening to it on the way over here, and I was fucking like singing along with it. I was like, you know, oh shit, like I used to bump this shit back then.
Yeah.
Um, so, you know, like the title says Snoop Dogg, right? Gin and Juice, right? But then I don't know where they mentioned Dr. Dre, you know, and I'm like, what the fuck's Dr. Dre rapping at? Like,
Yeah. What does he have to do with this shit?
Yeah, you know what I mean? And I never realized that the producer had a lot to do with the song, you know what I mean, and the beats and all that stuff and shit. Until later in the future when I was already like a DJ, I was already involved with production, and I was a little older, you know, when it came to that. But at first I thought that it was all like fucking like musicians in the fucking studio, like creating with the beats and shit, you know what I mean, like a band, fucking creating the bass line and the fucking. I know that it was done that way for some artists or whatever, but. But the concept of sampling and all that stuff, like I didn't really learn about that like until like later in life when I really like started digging deeper into it. You know what I mean? And I bet you know there's people out there that don't even know what the fuck a sample is.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Well, that has to do with like the production of like, you know, Snoop Dogg or whatever artist is in right now. Because I was the exact same way you were. I was a super fan of music. But once I got into the hip hop world, I started seeing and noticing, because I would be like, well, who does the instrumentals? Who does the instrumentation, you know? And I thought it was like a whole fucking band went in there and created some dope ass shit on the keyboards. I'm like, these fools are sick. But come to find out, motherfuckers was sampling records and sampling drums and you know what I'm saying? And doing all this shit. And I'm like, man, this is fucking beautiful. And I fell in love with the lifestyle of sampling, dude. Like I literally was amazed by it, you know.
Yeah, like the first time I ever got really introduced to that I think it was a documentary that was coming out on MTV or VH1 or BET. It was one of those channels back in the days in the cable days. And then it was Dr. Dre like showing his process on the MPC and then on the keyboard. I think it was the MPC 60. He was playing the sample on the MPC and the drums, and then he was like, I guess, like playing some keys on top. Yeah. So I was like, oh shit, like that's how they do it, you know?
You're like, damn, I've been wasting all this time.
Like I've been thinking like I gotta fucking call these fools to fucking come and practice with me and shit, you know?
I need some horns. Yeah, that's dope, dog. So like what are like inspirations that like guide you when you're about to create?
Nowadays, it's just basically like no inspirations. Like I honestly like I don't really wait for inspiration to create. Like if I do that, sometimes I probably wouldn't even create for months. Just you know, it's
waiting. Huh?
It's hard to get inspired at one point in your life, and I've gone through those days where, you know, it's just like I'm not inspired at all, but like I just know I have to do it, you know what I mean, and to get it done. And once you do it, once you get it done, it's like, okay, fine, you know, it's there, you know what I mean. At least I have a foundation now. Yeah, I can come back to it when I'm inspired and get it where I want it to be, whatever. But when I'm inspired, man, I'm inspired. Like that shit, fucking, you know. So there's things that trigger my inspiration. I just don't know what it is, you know what I mean. It's hard to tell. Like I can tell you, oh shit, like you know, like. Well, you know what? Yeah, I might be wrong. You know what? Gatherings like the one that we had, you know, recently at the Soul Clap, shit like that inspires me. You know what I mean? To really do better. You know.
And I missed the one you invited me to.
Yeah, gatherings like that where we might buy for the producers and stuff like that. Yeah. That inspires me.
Like seeing other people creating and seeing how they do it. That's dope because. Like you're just vibing off of their energy, and that's inspirational for sure.
Yeah, like it's not really like a competitive thing or oh, I'm trying to be better than you or anything like that. It's just like fun, like, you know, you see at that point you realize that what you're doing is valid, you know, like it's not like we're trying to seek validation for anything, because like that's never been the case, you know what I mean. It's more of like sometimes you just put in the work for years and years, and you see no result, and then you tell yourself, oh, this is not working out. Like, you know, I'm about to just hang the towel and walk away from it. Yeah. And you know, when I do actually find an inspiration, I'm like, you know what, like my time wasn't wasted. My time, you know, was actually used
to get to that point.
Yeah, you know what I mean. So I mean, definitely, you know, like gatherings, you know, with other creatives. That's a huge inspiration for me. My daughter is another inspiration for me. You know, my daughter, she inspires me a lot. Yeah, you know, to keep sane, you know.
Yeah, hell yeah, keep that balance, bro. Yeah. My kids are the same way, man. When I feel like I'm gonna, like, you know, sway a little bit to the left or to the right, like I go mess with my kids and shit, and I'll be like, nah, I gotta do this shit. You know what I'm saying? I gotta leave them something. You know what I'm saying? Because that's what we gotta do, man. Straight up. But so how did you get the name DJ WarlockOne? If you don't mind sharing that with us.
I will not mind sharing that with you. But I was gonna say something before the question, and I was gonna be fuck, I forgot. If it comes back to me, I'll say it. But, it was related to what we're talking about, the inspiration. Another thing that inspires me too is like going out to a place, and just a random person tells me, knows me, like they know my name. They
Oh yeah.
they say hey, like, and I'm like, who the hell is this guy or this girl, right? Like in my mind, like I'm not rude about it, like, you know.
Yeah.
And then we're probably following each other on social media, but you know it's just like a social media friendship or whatever, right? Because you know you get thousands of followers or whatever, and vice versa. Like you're following thousands of people, so it's like at that point you're like, I don't know who this is, but I'm just gonna like cool, you know, like I'm like nice to them. But when they tell you, hey, your music inspires me, your music, you know, gets me to work, you know, like in a good mood.
Yeah.
You know, like those type of comments, like, they really inspire me. You know,
Yeah.
they really inspire me. They're like, oh, I bump, you know, certain project that they say it by name. You know, and I'm bumping that on repeat when on my way to work or while I'm working. You know, and that keeps me going. Like stuff like that it really inspires me.
You want me to tell you an insane story real quick? Okay. I'm gonna tell you an insane story because you just said that's one of the things that inspires you, right? Like people telling you that they love your shit, right? And I'm a fan too. You know what I'm saying? So I'm gonna say about 5 years ago, I seen you at Habits Burgers in Southgate.
Oh shit.
Okay, I wanted to go up to you so bad and tell you that your beats are fucking dope, but I was afraid to.
What?
Because you're with your family. I didn't want to be disrespectful. But I was with my wife and my two kids because I didn't have my babies yet. And I was like, I was telling my girl, because I talk with my girl about hip hop all the time. I'm like, babe. She's like, what? I'm like, that's fucking DJ WarlockOne. She's like, what? I'm like, yeah. I'm like, that's DJ WarlockOne. And you know what I'm talking about, right? You go to that spot, right?
Yeah.
So I seen you and I was like, I just want to tell him that his beats are fucking dope. Man. She's like, well, go tell him. I'm like, nah, he's with his family and shit. And she's like, yeah, you're right. I was like, but that's a crazy story. Like, I didn't even like even think about like asking you for not Beat Table wasn't even like not even heard of or anything, right? But I had already been a fan, and I wanted to tell you like, yo, like, your fucking beats are dope.
Oh,
dog.
thanks, man.
Like,
Appreciate that.
You know, like, and it's inspirational because when you're laying your shit down, I love to go grab, you know, motivation from other beat makers so I can create. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. To me, that inspires me and shit. But yeah, that's a crazy story. I wanted to tell you.
That's crazy. No, I didn't know about that. That's because I used to go there a lot back then. You know, not anymore, but I used to go there a lot.
Yeah, that's a crazy story right there.
You should have came up to me, man. Like I would have been like, yeah, thank you, appreciate it, man. Like probably would have.
Then I wouldn't have been able to tell this story.
Probably would have exchanged information. You know, like if you would have told me that you produce or whatever, like I would have been like, yeah, and.
Hell
you know, let's exchange information. Like, you know, follow me on IG and then we follow each other.
Hell yeah.
Because I think the first time I heard from you was like through a homie, B Butcher.
Oh yeah.
I think you guys know each other.
Yeah, that's that's the homie through Quest Coast.
Yeah, so yeah, Quest Coast is another homie that, you know, I have much respect for.
Yeah.
As an MC.
Yeah, I met Beat Butcher through Quest Coast. We went to his studio right here in Commerce a few times.
Okay, yeah, so yeah, we had a studio out there. You know, me and Butcher had a studio back then, and then that's when I started hearing from you. I think. I think you started following me back then.
Yeah.
And we used to, that would be some crazy ass sessions out there.
Hell yeah! Hey, that's a dope spot right there. That's a dope spot right there. The one in Commerce.
Southgate?
No, the one in Commerce.
Have you been there before?
The one in Southgate? No.
No. Well, now I have one in Commerce. The one that I have right nowadays is in Commerce. But
you do? Okay.
Back then it used to be in Southgate.
No, I didn't go to in Southgate, but yeah, the one that Beat Butcher has in Commerce, I was like, man, I wanna get a little studio like that.
So I have a spot right there too, like in the same building.
Oh, in the same. Oh, you do? Is it legit?
Yeah.
It's dope.
Yeah.
Hell yeah! I was thinking about doing that because. I wanted to get the bigger room.
Yeah, the only issue there is because it's a lockout. So like, you know, you're gonna have bands practicing, you know, all around you.
Exactly,
So
you're gonna hear noise and shit.
Trying to record, it's gonna be painful to record.
Yeah. Yeah, that's why my wife is like, you should just wait to get like your own like storefront or some shit. You know what I'm saying?
The storefront is the way to go if you can find one at a
reasonable
good rate,
price.
yeah, at a good rate. Yeah, because it's real estate right now. I mean, especially commercial.
Yeah.
It's up the roof, man.
And not only that, but like to be convenient for like you guys, like because I could go get something cheap like in IE or whatever. You know what I'm saying? But to me, it would be a hassle because then a lot of people will be like, "Oh, where you located?" I'll be like, "Oh, in IE." Then they'll be like, "Yeah, I don't know, man. Because traffic fucking sucks in LA." Like, I mean, think about it, brother. You're not even far from here, and it took you fucking 60 minutes to get here, dog.
But it's a peak traffic hour though.
You know what I'm saying? So it's like, but I'd rather get something like in the city more, even though it's like a little pricey. To me, it'll be beneficial.
I think if you say like in the outskirts of downtown LA, like Commerce is a good area. To find a spot, not too pricey. And Southgate, it's not.
Or even get a warehouse.
Bell or like Bell Gardens.
Yeah, that's where my wife's from.
City of Vernon. Like they got like really good locations.
Yeah.
To do what you're trying to do. So,
hell yeah, that'll be sick, dog. So, how'd you get DJ WarlockOne?
Oh, okay, yeah. So going back to getting back on track.
Nah, you're good.
I used to be a B-boy WarlockOne.
Oh,
yeah, B-boy WarlockOne. So, funny story. Shout out to my cousin. Like DJ Tank. He used to DJ with me back then. He actually one day, we were just like smoking out, skating, and he's like, hey, like from now on you're gonna be B-boy. You're gonna be Warlock. That's what he called me. And I was like, oh shit, like that sounds dope, because at the time I was actually writing Ransom.
Oh, really?
Like, I was like fucking Ransom everywhere, Ransom.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I was starting to B-boy back then, so I was like, fuck it, I was just Ransom, right? Ransom, so maybe today I would have been like, DJ Ransom or some shit like that. You know what I mean? Like,
I like Warlock better though.
No, yeah, but and this is probably like 97, 98, like around that. Yeah, so I'm talking about like way back then. And I've held to that name ever since. You know what I mean? So
you had a Warlock since '97.
Around there, yeah.
Damn.
So B-Boy WarlockOne, and then he moved to DJ WarlockOne, and then actually I dropped the DJ at one point. I was just WarlockOne, but then I kind of became a little weird. Sometimes I had projects under DJ WarlockOne, and then I had projects under WarlockOne. So then like my Spotify and my Apple Music started getting over like
confused
whack.
and shit.
You know what I mean? Like different artists, like popping up. I was like, nah, fuck, I'm gonna just keep it DJ WarlockOne.
Yeah.
If anybody asks, you know what I mean, like it's DJ WarlockOne, even if I'm rapping on a fucking record.
Yeah, hell yeah. Yeah, I've heard you rap.
Yeah.
You're fucking dope, dog.
Thanks, man.
I've definitely heard you rap and shit. And I like when I first like known of you, I went in your Instagram, and I just went all the way to the bottom, and I seen like how young you were, dude. Like getting into the game and rapping and making beats and DJing and all that shit. And I was looking at all like your videos and photos and shit. I was like, damn, this fool's been in the game for a long time.
Yeah, one of the things is that for me, like documentation is important.
Oh,
like,
hell yeah.
Sometimes like if you don't document stuff, like it never happened. You know what I mean? So, I was always an advocate for having a camera, a camcorder, a tape recorder, whatever.
Yeah.
Fucking document whatever you're doing. Like don't fucking. Be like, oh shit, like I used to kick with this fool, and then like I don't even have a picture with him.
Damn.
You know what I mean? Like after they pass away or some shit. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah.
Like or whatever. You know what I mean? Like it doesn't have to be that, but like just documentation of stuff. Like document it. Record it. Like save it.
Yeah.
For future, because you never know. Like you never know. Like right now, I might have enough footage for like a good documentary. Of my life. You know what I mean? So
no, for real. Hey, that's real shit, bro. Because like you said, like. I lost a homie in 2021, and I have pictures of him, but I never took a picture with him.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm like, you never know what the fuck's gonna happen, dude.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? With yourself or like with somebody that you know what I'm saying? And me, I'm a huge documenter, like I video and take pictures of my kids all the fucking time. And I make sure I do videos with them, like just in case, you know what I'm saying? Like if I happen to fucking like, bounce all of a sudden, at least they have videos like where I'm fucking with them or like, we're joking around.
Or your grandkids,
you know what I'm saying?
So your great grandkids.
Yeah. So that I definitely agree on documenting shit. I never did that shit when I was younger, and I wish I did because I did a lot of dope ass shit when I was younger. but I like, who's gonna believe me? Like,
Yeah.
I don't have that shit
So
documented.
I was lucky enough to the fact that my mom used to actually listen to my craziness because back then camcorders were expensive. And I'm talking about the camcorders that had little tapes, the little cassette tapes, not the 8mm ones, but the little like the VHS ones that were like the small ones. They were expensive. I mean, when they came out, they were expensive because at first they used to be the big ass.
Remember that shit? You're like just walking out that motherfucker like a bazooka and shit.
Yeah, so my neighbor had one of those, and then like the lady, like, I mean, of course, I mean, you're gonna be careful about who you let it borrow, especially a kid.
Yeah.
Like I would always be like, let's borrow your camera, like we wanna film a movie or whatever. Like it was just kids fucking around in the backyard and shit.
Yeah.
Whatever. But when I told my mom, get us a camcorder because I wanna start recording parties or whatever,
Yeah.
and she did, she got a camcorder.
That's dope.
And I started buying tapes. So I have like tape after tape after tape of like Christmas parties with.
Do you still have them now?
I got them now, yeah.
That's
with my
dope.
my youngest sister right now is 22, and I have tapes of her when she was actually like learning how to walk.
Nah.
You know what I mean? Like, so I told her that was like my excuse to tell my mom, hey, like I want to record all of us or whatever. But I used to take the camcorder to like the b-boy sessions, to the practice sessions, to the DJing sessions or whatever.
Have
And
you
I have
ever
footage
released any of it?
I have some footage that I have released, but there's a lot of it on tape that I need to transfer
Yeah,
into
you
digital.
gotta transfer it. Yeah.
So I just haven't had the time to do it or the equipment to do it because I think you have to buy like a card or something to transfer it or whatever. But
Yeah, now I mean it's a little bit easy, but you just gotta find like the right person that does it or purchase the equipment yourself. You know what I'm saying? But yeah, dude, that's good that you documented all that shit, dog, because that shit'll go down in history. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, like I said, man, I can literally like have I was talking about the story right here in this podcast right here, and then be playing the video clip, like on like IG or something, and that's right there is content.
Damn.
Like dope as
That's
content because
dope.
I'm talking about it in your podcast, and then
Imagine
and
show
then,
it.
Then it's showing on the screen like back then when it was happening. You know what I mean? So things like that, like people don't take into account that anything that you document could become something golden.
So if you have something from the '90s, send it to me, so we can show it right here.
Yeah, no, I will.
You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. And I definitely at the beginning of this segment of this episode, I definitely want to do a shout out to your boy that just passed away, and put his picture on there, and you know what I'm saying? And
yeah, man. Shout out to my brother Comandante, man. He's with the ancestors now. Comandante, I met Comandante back in like 06, 07. Early on in my career, I was actually in a transition, like going from trying to do commercial rap into like just getting straight into the underground hip hop scene, And I met Comandante in the street. When I met Comandante, like he was actually like protesting against LAPD.
That's dope.
Because LAPD was fucking with the street vendors in Alvarado, right there in Alvarado, right there by MacArthur Park. The ladies selling their pupusas in the street. Like motherfuckers were fucking grabbing their cars and throwing the pupusas on the ground and shit.
So
and
that's
Comandante,
been going on, huh?
Yeah, it's been going on forever. No, but that was LAPD fucking with the vendors, and then Comandante was fucking like right there, like protesting, talking shit to the cops. You know what I mean? Like being the voice of the voiceless, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And that shit inspired me to actually like be better.
Yeah.
And that's the one of the things that, like Comandante, like he was always like, his energy was always like, so high that, you know what I mean? Like he was always ready to write. He never took any studio sessions for granted. Like he would show up, even if we didn't record that day, because I was like, just producing or, having some drinks or whatever, and I got too impaired to even like record or whatever. He took advantage of that. Like he would write that one session, and then come back the next time with already the song already written, ready to drop it. You know what I mean? So shit like that. I'm like fuck, like I'm fortunate enough to have a lot of footage. And acapellas.
Damn.
That I recorded the homie. You know what I mean? So like even some unreleased stuff that I think I'm gonna go back and dig up to see if I can put it out. Because
do
it's
a memory record. You know what I'm saying? That'll be dope.
Yeah, so shout out to my boy, man. You know what I mean? R.I.P. Comandante Nawat Mayalenka.
Yeah, we're definitely gonna put his picture at the beginning of this podcast of this episode in memory of him.
Yeah, we laid him to rest yesterday, and that's why my voice is a little rusty right now because we were yelling, out his name really loud yesterday at the cemetery, and and we were exposed to the elements a little bit too. So
Releasing.
yeah,
Releasing.
So
that's
that's
the best
why.
way, though, dog.
Yeah,
That's the best way. That's the best way. Let them know, like, you ain't alone.
Yeah, so
You know what I'm
his wish was to be buried, and I think that the community came together and we made it happen.
That's dope. That's dope.
As a community.
Well, my condolences to you, brother,
Thank you.
and to his family, and we hope that everything's good. But yeah, so we're definitely gonna dedicate this episode to him for sure. So what weapons do you use? Like, what's your favorite weapon to use? Like, when you're...
My current favorite weapon is the NPC Live 2, because I just got it. I just copped it.
You're like...
I've been an NPC user for years, since back in 05, because that's when the 2500 came out. And I was at that time I was already using Reason and Cubase and Nuendo.
Nice.
And then some hardware recorders, like the HVAC recorders and all that stuff. So I was already like using a lot of that stuff prior to getting the MPC. And the MPC, I kind of got it like it was like I would say like an accident when I got the MPC. Because I got it from the homie that bought one, but he never really like learned how to use it. And he's like, yeah, I'm gonna just give up on it. And he brought it to the studio. And that's back then it was brand new, like never used. Like he had bought it, never learned how to use it. Gave up on it. Brought it to the studio, left it there just to. He would say, "Oh, I'm gonna come back and try to learn it, whatever." And one day he's like, "You know what? You can just keep this right here, man. Like I don't want it back." It's like, and I was like, "For real? Like you don't have to do that, you know what I mean? Like, because at the time I was already using the MPD. I was using the Reason, you know what I mean, Cubase. So like at that time, my mentality was like, I don't need this hardware stuff, like it's isolated. I mean, it's like I would have that mentality that this is isolated. I'm never gonna need it, you know what I mean, whatever. But then when I started using it, I started seeing some videos. Like at that time, YouTube was like brand new. Like YouTube was barely coming out. I think YouTube came out in 05 or something like that. Yeah. So I started seeing videos of people using the MPC 1000, like just fucking getting fucking up, just getting busy on it, fucking and some crazy shit. So I was like, oh shit, that one's smaller than this one, and they're doing that shit with this, and I got this shit right here, all this shit right here, and I ain't making shit happen. Like, so that's kind of shit that kind of like got me into like, starting to use the MPC 2500.
So you're definitely an Akai user, that's for sure.
Yeah, I would say my favorite company when it comes to like my weapon of choice is definitely MPC, Akai. Yeah. But I do have other things that I use, other tools that I use, like the Insonic samplers. Like they're even more old school. Yeah. The ASR10 is one of them. The EPS.
You made a beat tape.
I made a couple of beat tapes with the EPS.
ASR10, right?
No, EPS.
Oh, okay, yeah, it was that one. Yeah. I know it was one of the
keyboards. So the 13-bit Chronicles Volumes 1 and 2. That's basically 2 projects with 13 beats each. Made entirely on the machine. Yeah. They only went through Pro Tools to get tracked out and mixed and mastered. Yeah. Maybe some of them went to the SSL. Yeah, I remember. To get mixed, but there was no elements from any other machines but that machine. So I like doing that a lot. I have another one that I want to put out right now. It's with the 2000, the MPC 2000. It's just like it's the process to like get all the beats from the machine to the computer. It's just long, because you gotta press play, track them all out, and then So like right now, I've just been doing like all the digital stuff,
But I know it'll be worth it because it's gonna be dope ass beats.
It will be worth it. It will be worth it. But I'll find the time to do it. Right now, I've been focusing more on the digital, because it's more like I'm not gonna say microwave. Yeah. Type workflow, but it does make things a lot faster,
Oh, hell yeah. Most definitely. You make a beat, stem it out, put out the wave in the MP3, and you're good to go,
all in the box. You can even mix and master the beat inside the machine, inside the MPC Live.
That's crazy.
So I've had the Live for about 2 years, the Live 1. And then I just recently upgraded to the Live 2. Nice. Gold edition.
How's she treating you?
Oh, it's nice, man. It's really nice.
So I had the MPC 1 Gold Edition. That's the one
that I had. You were telling me that you had to let it go.
Oh, man. I was like, nah, I don't have time for that shit. I was like, I'd rather just do my, do this shit. But So if I was to give you a blank check, right, and you were to go to Guitar Center or a website, what piece of equipment would be on your wish list to purchase with that blank check?
Damn. Shit. That's a good question, man. you got me on that one right there. I mean, cause like at the moment, like I'm not, if
All right, here we go. We're live again. So we had some technical difficulties. Yeah. GoPro needs to fix that shit. Anyways, so I was asking you what piece of equipment would you purchase, and you pretty much told me that you're good where you're at.
Yeah, I mean, yeah. The question was if you gave me a blank check.
Yeah.
And I was gonna answer that question with another question. Are you a millionaire, a billionaire?
It's a blank check, brother.
I mean, shit. If that's the case, man, I'll just fucking go over there and cop like all the SSL boards and I don't know, maybe.
Hey, somebody told me they're like, shit, I'm gonna buy a bunch of shit. I'm like, hey, it's a blank check. You get whatever the fuck you want. You know what I'm saying? But hell yeah. So yo, the main purpose of me creating this platform for amazing humans such as yourself is to show us so we can hear what it is that you create, because I know what you can create, and a bunch of other friends and people that know you that are going to watch this know what you create, but there's going to be a few people that don't know what you create. So I want you to fucking show them on the fucking beat table, bro, and let them have it, man.
There's always radio.
Woo!
And for a dime I can talk to God. Dial a prayer.
It's the fucking beat table with DJ WarlockOne.
Are you there? The days are okay. The days are okay. The days are okay. I watch the TV in the end. You have a lovely thing.
Woo!
Have a lovely thing. Have a lovely thing. Have a lovely thing. Just like a picture, no word. The days are okay. The days are okay. The days are okay. I watch the TV and
DJ WarlockOne, ladies and gentlemen. Damn, only on the beat table. We got some fast cars for a commercial. Get yourself a V8. I don't know, the homies pulling out fucking turbos right now, man. Superchargers. Hell yeah. DJ WarlockOne. Damn, he's killing them out here. He is killing them out here. Man. Damn. All right. Hey, we're gonna have to stop this shit. My boy's over here fucking killing them and shit. This is a motherfucking beat table, baby, with that little wah. And we got DJ WarlockOne right here, man. Hey, muchas gracias, bro. Yeah, we're gonna have to stop this shit. That's it. You guys, that's all you guys get. If you want to hear more, look up DJ WarlockOne. You know what I'm saying? Hey, thank you so much for giving me your time, bro. You're fucking murdering it, dog.
Thank
my
you for
God.
having me today, man. I appreciate the opportunity. I see it doesn't matter the level, it doesn't matter the place, it doesn't matter, you know, the person. I always see it as an opportunity. You know?
Hell, I agree with you.
Connect, you know what I mean?
I agree with you.
So thank you for that. I appreciate it, man.
Even though you're a beginner, I want you here. Even though you're a master, like DJ WarlockOne, I still want you here. No matter what, we got to show love, you know what I'm saying? And for the ones that are starting, we got to show them love too, because we all started some way too, you know what I'm saying? DJ WarlockOne, ELIAS, this is the motherfucking beat table, and we're out. Peace.